And it's Ken Kraetzer for Sons of the American Legion Radio. I have the great pleasure and honor of talking to the Undersecretary of the United States Army, and that is Patrick Murphy. And, sir, you were out there jumping. I hear it's not your first jump. Tell us, how'd the jump go?
Oh, it was awesome. I used to be a paratrooper with the 82nd Airborne Division. Was in Iraq with them. But the jump with America's best and the world's premier parachute team, the Gold Knights, was awesome. And the jump here at West Point, a place where I used to be a professor here 16 years ago, and a place that really is the Athens and Sparta of America. It's just a great day.
Absolutely, and we know you're a graduate of the ROTC program at the University of Scranton. Their professor of military science, Ron Remley, is a good friend of ours. Just tell us a little bit about your career, if you would, in the Army, and then what led you to being able to work for the U.S. Army as an undersecretary.
Sure, I was very lucky. I come from a military family. My dad was enlisted in the Navy. Two grandfathers who served in the Pacific in World War II. My brother's an Air Force officer. He's done 2 deployments, and I did Army ROTC. I joined at 19 and was lucky. I deployed twice. I taught here at West Point, and then when I left the military, I did what most of our soldiers do. I went back and served in my community. In that case, I went and ran for the U.S. Congress and won. This was the first Iraq War veteran in Congress. So served on the National Security Committees, on Armed Services, on the Intelligence, and then Appropriations Committees in the Congress. But it was asked to do this role as Undersecretary of the Army, and it's great. It's great to be here at West Point with these young Americans.
Well, you talked about making the transition from the Army to civilian life and then back to government service. We do a lot of talks about helping veterans through education and into civilian jobs. Why is it a great reason for employers to hire an Army veteran?
Listen, our veterans are civic assets. They're leaders of character who are going to be leaders in their communities when given a chance. And so they get great return on their investment. I mean, this isn't a charity case. Our veterans know all about teamwork, working hard, having an ethic of getting the job done, and they're winners. And so I know there's a lot of companies who are hiring our veterans because they know it's the right thing for their bottom line, and it also happens to be the right thing to do. We have really doubled down on the Army Soldier for Life program. And again, our soldiers are leaders of character for a lifetime of service. So Soldier for Life is a transition program, so to make sure that all our soldiers are transition ready. And we start 12 months out before they leave active duty or reserve or National Guard, and make sure that they are ready to go on day one.
Absolutely, and we know Army soldiers are deployed today around the world. Veterans Day tomorrow. We had a chance to talk with our friend Major General John Thompson of the 1st Cavalry serving over in Afghanistan. Just tell us about the great service that Army soldiers are performing day in and day out all over the world.
Our soldiers, we have over 140,000 soldiers in over 160 countries across the globe, projecting American power to make sure that we deter our enemies and assure our allies that America will always stand strong, and our Army is always leading the way. So we have obviously thousands of troops in Afghanistan and in Iraq and some in Syria, and we keep them in our thoughts and our prayers and their families, and we want them to know that we love them and that we support them 100%.
Absolutely, and I'll be down at the Veterans Parade in New York City. It should be a great event, and be thousands of veterans out there. And do you have a message for America's veterans? My dad was an Army veteran from World War II. About 4 of my uncles helped liberate Italy. They helped liberate France. And they'd be proud and appreciative of your service. Do you have a message for all the Army veterans out there?
I just, to all the veterans from World War II to now, thank you so much for being willing to fight and die for our nation and the values and the freedoms that we believe in. We hope that our generation of veterans are making you proud. I will tell you that it's less than 1% now that's willing to serve and wear the cloth of our country. So I know it's a small percentage, but it's a bunch of patriots that are willing to continue the tradition that you did. And I want to give a special shout out, frankly, to the Vietnam generation. I will tell you, I'm named after a Vietnam veteran who gave the ultimate sacrifice in Vietnam. His name was Patrick Ward, who earned a Silver Star. But it was the Vietnam generation, and at that time in our country's history, the American public didn't separate the war from the warrior, and they weren't welcomed home the right way. But they made sure that our generation of Iraq and Afghanistan veterans were welcomed home and thanked for our service, and for that we will eternally be grateful.
And those are so important remarks to appreciate all the service of our veterans. Now, you had a chance to visit with a whole bunch of West Point cadets today. You did a spirit video for a little ball game coming up in December, but on Saturday, Black Knights will be heading down to Texas to San Antonio to play a school named Notre Dame. Be a lot of soldiers there from the different Army bases in the area. Any thoughts for the Army football team, Coach Munkin, as they go down to play Notre Dame on Saturday?
I couldn't be more proud of the Army team. The Army football team is having a great season. And listen, I know they're the underdogs against the University of Notre Dame, but if there's any team that could do it, it's the Army team. Our brothers over in the Naval Academy, they beat Notre Dame last week, so we just gotta, we gotta follow their lead, and now we gotta take it to Notre Dame and beat them. But I'll tell you, it'll be a great game. But we all cannot wait till December 16th, December 10th, in Baltimore, Maryland, when we beat Navy after 15 years. The last time Army beat Navy was when I was a professor here at West Point, and it's going to happen this year. Mark my words.
Well, we tend to agree with you at Sons of the American Legion Radio, but really thank you for your service, Undersecretary of the Army Patrick Murphy, your service in the Army, and all that you do today to take care of our soldiers, and we appreciate that so much. And our best wishes to you for Veterans Day from all of us at the American Legion.
God bless you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Undersecretary of the Army Patrick Murphy. For Sons of the American Legion Radio at the United States Military Academy, this is Ken Kraetzer.